The U.S. Treasury on Monday sanctioned roughly 60 individuals, companies and vessels tied to Iran's oil revenues, sanctions evasion networks and weapons programs, while expanding the threat of secondary sanctions into shipping, aviation, tech, gold and digital assets. Further warning countries around the world that they had to choose between trade with Tehran or potentially losing access to the American financial system. The Treasury Secretary launching Operation Economic Outcast in an effort to foreclose on every other option available to the Iranian government.
We want to make clear here today that no one is above the reach of U.S. sanctions, that if they facilitate transactions and are part of the ecosystem that turns Iranian oil into money, into repression, they will be targeted. We find that the best way to engage with countries is through quiet diplomacy, and we are level setting with every country to tell them our expectations. We know who they are, they know who they are, so when the hammer of U.S. Treasury actions falls upon them, they will have no one to blame but themselves.
Speaking on the Islamic Republic of Iran news network, the country's finance minister hit back. While acknowledging that the new U.S. measures would have some impact on an already wary population, he argued that the new punitive measures would fail.
Naturally, they want to wage economic terrorism against us, and we have our own tools as well. We know how to play this game. This time, they should not think our response will be purely defensive and that we will only defend ourselves. They should also expect us to go on the offensive. The era of a unipolar world is over. As you have seen, 2 of the world's major countries rejected these new sanctions and this new plan and refused to go along with them. We are almost certain that many other countries, whether officially or unofficially, will also refuse to accept them. And, God willing, they will fail.
China, which historically is the biggest purchaser of Iranian oil, hit back at the U.S. threats.
Sanctions and pressure will not help resolve disputes. They will only exacerbate tensions and escalate the situation, which is not in the interest of any party. China calls on relevant parties to act rationally and with restraint and avoid taking any measures that may further escalate tensions or deal a blow to global economic growth and financial stability, and return to the right track of political settlement through dialogue and negotiations at an early date. China will closely monitor relevant developments and take necessary measures to safeguard its legitimate rights and interests.
While key mediator Qatar called the U.S. move unilateral, re-emphasizing diplomatic efforts to resolve issues between Washington and Tehran.
These are unilateral sanctions. They are not UN sanctions. They are not, multilateral sanctions, and therefore, the question is to be asked of those who decided to impose these sanctions. For us, our priority was always reaching a diplomatic solution through talks. We are urging the parties to engage fully in the talks and the mediation that is led by Qatar and Pakistan and the other regional players, and we find that to be the only way out of this crisis, and we are encouraging again all the parties to engage in good faith.
Further pointing out that what mattered was a return to navigational rights in the Strait of Hormuz. With the Strait of Hormuz still at the heart of the confrontation and shipping through the waterway severely disrupted, the question is whether the American pressure campaign would persuade Iran's trading partners to fall in line or deepen the divide between Washington and countries unwilling to enforce its sanctions. And if Tehran followed through on its warning of an offensive response, the economic confrontation could very easily militarily spill back into the Strait of Hormuz. Shervin Brycepease, SABC News, New York.